This video is about the doctrine of the Trinity. Uh, this is something that is insane that people, that Christians and whatever are like believing in. I don't know how you don't see this is not true. It's crazy that you need Muslims and Jews to tell you this, and then you also like ignore them because they are wrong about in general about their religion. Then you ignore them, and there's so few Christians that are saying the truth about this, and you ignore them. But like, you just like, are you serious about this or not? Like, if you're serious about God and you care about him more than you care about people, then don't you care like who he is? I mean, everything in scripture tells you that he is a person. You have all the cases, more than 1,000, probably thousands of cases, God identify as someone that is, a person, someone, like, and there isn't a single case that he identify in a way that is definitively can be proven that what he is saying is that he is free persons, and there is no place he identify as a thing that free people have in common. He just doesn't do that anywhere. Everywhere that he definitively identifies or is talked about by someone else, he is like, is identified as he, I, things like that. And so he's one person, and there is only one God. And Yeshua never said he was God. We call Jesus, he never said he was God. God never said he was God. Every time he talked about God, he talked to about as in the form of someone speaking to about someone else. Every time he talked to God, he talked to us. He's speaking to someone else. He even called him his God. Every time God speaks to him, he speaks as he's speaking to someone else, not to himself. They don't speak like to themselves. And there is even a case that Yeshua is asked, like he asked, who do you say that I am? And Peter answered him, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Yeshua says to him, blessed are you, Peter, son of Yonah, for not flesh and blood that revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. So he's like, first of all, he just told you who he is. He's God's anointed one, which is the same as Messiah and Christ, and he's Son of God, which is like we all sons of God. He's more Son of God, but like that's who he is. He's like, he's not saying I'm God. He's not saying I revealed this to you. He says the Father revealed this to you, and like, if he was God, then the answer Peter would give, God gave him, would say, you are God. He's not saying that. He just told you who he is, and he's not saying he's God. He's saying, and Trinitarian have all kind of excuses for this. None of them make any sense. Just ignore them. Like, if you care about God, if you want him, like the commandment that God said is the most important commandment starts with, I am Yahweh, your God. One Yahweh, so it's like there is, only one of him, and he has a name, it's called Yahweh, which is identified as the Father, and it's like, and the three commandments of the 10 commandments, the first three commandments, all of them you're breaking if you with this. Like, the first one is, I am Yahweh your God. The second one is, you would have no other gods but me. The third one is, you would make no any kind of idols. And he says that he's, because he's a zealous God, like, so he's gonna one day judge you, and what, you're gonna like I did everything you would think like I did everything correctly, but then you would be like, but do you know who I am? Like, because you're saying I'm not even a person, and like you expect me like to, to care so much about you that you deny that I'm a person, and you break the commandment that I said is the most important commandment and the first three commandments of the 10 commandments, so you're breaking all the main commandments with this, and you're being ridiculous, and you're denying all the scriptures, because there is no scripture that tells you in a way that you can definitively conclude from this that God is the Trinity, but all the scripture is telling you that he's a non-human person that is like, in control of reality, and Yeshua is someone he sent as his representative that should be assume that whatever he says is the same as God said that, and you're supposed to assume that he's so similar to God. God sent him and not someone else because he's the most similar to him among humans, and he wants you to like, this is how you would see him, like, because he like to this is like his way of like, he doesn't want to come himself to us, because for his own reasons he sent a man that he put in charge of all the other humans. He put him as a role model, as a teacher, and was expected to fulfill all righteousness, and be basically without sin. And then it's like, so he did that, and he's now like would be the king of everyone, and he's like, you're supposed to treat him as like, that's the way to know God, is to know him, but he's a human being like all of us, that God put in charge, and that he thinks is he's the most authoritative best representation for him. Like if you had an empire, then a lot of times they put someone in charge of some region, then they put someone from that region, one of the people in the region, they put him like in charge of that part of the empire. So God put a human in charge of the humans, and but like, and he put someone who he thinks is representing the best, but he's still, you need to remember, like, God is not human, and he's a lot beyond human. Like, no human is capable of doing, I think I wouldn't ever trust a human in running reality forever. We probably, each one of us would screw it up eventually, like, is like and anyway, like, he's just like, listen to what he's saying. He never says the things that you're saying he never said, like, Yeshua never says he's God. He even like made it clear, who he is, and that's not God. So stop saying he's God, unless you want to be, one day like figure out you like follow your life, or like trying to be righteous, or something, or whatever you're trying to do, but like potentially be like just ignored by God, because you basically ignored him, everything he says you just ignored to be fitting with other people, and I'm not saying this like, in the name of some other religion, okay, and I'm saying it in the name of like God, and there's no religion on earth that represents God. There is just people saying things, and if you want to listen to him, just listen to him, His words are in the Bible. Not all the Bible is his words, but his words are in the Bible. If you want to listen to him, listen to what he says in the Bible, not what Paul said, not what all kind of people in the Bible said. What he said through prophets that he spoke through, in text in the Bible that he is speaking. Bye.